We'll get started. So I'm Caitlin Long of Team Lifelong Fitness, and I am going to talk to you guys today about recruiting. And in that light, we're going to talk about serving, not selling, and how to make the asking people about the coaching opportunity, about the business opportunity, not so scary. So just some recognition with my girls. I just wanted to shout out Rachel Singer Sanguinito. That's a fun name. She did get her emerald back this week, so that's pretty awesome. Good for her. And good job for all of you guys who are doing multiple trainings this month. I know it's pretty crazy, but you guys are keeping up with that really well, so we're really proud of that. All right. So let's just start by debunking the myth of recruiting, because I think everyone hears that word and sort of cringes a little bit. But why do we get so worked up about the word recruiting? I think it needs to be a mindset shift. So for instance, if you played sports in high school or college, when someone recruited you, did you feel weird about that? Did you feel like it was icky or salesy? Probably not, right? Like you thought that was the coolest thing in the world, that someone wanted you on their team, that they wanted you to be a good fit for them, right? So why in this business do we feel like that? Like I feel like we're the only ones who think that as coaches, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think it's so weird that I'm asking them. And the same thing goes for your job. You put out your resume in LinkedIn or to whatever portal that you may use, and you get a call back from a recruiter, right? And if they're asking you and telling you that they think that you're going to be an awesome fit for the company and that you have a lot to offer, you don't feel bad about that, right? You're like pumped, you're amped. Somebody's reaching out to you and they're looking to see that, you're going to be awesome for them. So we definitely have to shift our mindset and stop being afraid of the word recruiting and know that it's not a sales tactic and we're not trying to trick anybody into anything, that we're trying to serve them and we're trying to help them and help create something amazing. I mean, you were not turned off when your coach, who's probably sitting here today, asked you to be on their team, right? You're grateful. And maybe it took a couple tries. Maybe you said no at first, maybe it wasn't the right timing, but in reality, you're grateful, right? Because you're sitting here today and you're still learning and growing together. So we got that out of the way. So why else is it important to be recruiting new coaches every single month? And everybody gets really nervous about this, but it's going to be the one thing that's going to move your business forward. Unfortunately, you can't be successful in this business on your own. Even if you're bringing in challengers and customers, if you're not developing coaches, you're not going to be able to move forward. Yes, you can get stuff from commission and you can build relationships with your challengers, and that's awesome. But if you are serious about earning financial freedom for you, for your family, if you're serious about helping others completely change their lives with the coaching opportunity, then absolutely need to be recruiting coaches. So your coaches that you're recruiting every month, it's going to be proportional to your growth. So you're seeing your rank, your income, all of those things are going to fall into place when you are adding new coaches every month. I'm not going to give you a specific target or a specific number because I think for everybody it's a little bit different. If you're a brand new coach, I think it's reasonable to start out with one new coach a month. Start slow, start simple. As you're starting to grow in the business and you know what you're doing and you know kind of the language that's involved and you're getting more and more challengers, you need to be upping that number. So maybe it's 3 to 5 coaches a month. I know the top 10 coaches are bringing in 20 to 30 new coaches a month, believe it or not. So that's a crazy, crazy goal, but that's what it takes to really move forward and get that momentum. So let's just start simple. And we'll break it all down. But that's definitely the missing link. So if you're not seeing growth in your business, if you're asking yourself, why am I stuck at this rank? Or I'm not making the money that I thought I would be in this business, it's because you're not bringing in new coaches. All right. So when you're asking people, And I think Brenda had a really great live video she did on our team page about this. But what is the worst that's going to happen? We are all worked up about the big F word, and it's not the bad one that you're thinking about. It's fear, which is even worse than the bad one, right? So the big F word stops us, fear. And really, what is the worst that's going to happen? There's 4 things that could happen. Number 1, best case scenario, they say yes. Number 2, they may say no, and they become a follow-up. You don't take them off your list just because they said no once. Think about how many times you may have said no to your coach who's sitting here now. They can say no, it's not for them, and that's okay. It's not for everyone, but that's an opportunity for you to reach out and ask for a referral and say, hey, I know this isn't for you, but do you think that you have anybody in mind who might benefit from this, or who could grow with this, and who might like this opportunity? And that's going to kind of trigger in their mind, like, oh, well, if I'm going to refer you to them, like maybe I want in on this too. Or you get somebody else who really does want to work it. And then last but not least, if they're completely turned off and they're like, absolutely not, or they just don't answer and they ignore you after several attempts, that's an opportunity, a learning opportunity for you to say, okay, what could I do better? And you can actually ask them that and say, what could be, I'm trying to grow in this business and I'm just starting out. I'm sorry to bother you about this. If you're really not interested, I know you haven't answered me back now, but can you tell me what I could do better to make you understand more about this? And that can be an opportunity for them to, they'll come back with an objection, right? And say, well, I don't want to be a coach because I'm not a good salesperson. And that's when you have an opportunity to connect with somebody. So just because someone says no or doesn't answer, it doesn't mean you give up altogether. So just remember that. What's the worst that can happen? You take a chance and maybe you get an amazing coach out of it or an amazing referral. So just keep that in mind and really think about it. Why not you? Ask yourself that. Why not? You deserve to have your tribe. You deserve to have people who are like you, who are growing with you and running with you, and don't deprive them of that chance just because you're being a little bit chicken and not asking the people who would be a great coach. You know who they are, right? They post on social media to begin with, or they have leadership qualities, or they're motivational, or you see really pretty pictures that they're posting, whatever it may be, or maybe they're just rocking your challenge group. Those are the people who you need to be asking, because we all know the benefits of coaching, but they may not. So we have to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, you are doing an awesome job in our challenge group. Have you ever considered doing what I do? Because that can open doors for their life. You don't necessarily know right off the bat what their struggles are. Maybe they're struggling with financial, just getting the bills paid every month, or maybe they're struggling with staying accountable themselves. And, that's one of the things coaching provides. Or maybe they're just struggling because they feel like they don't fit in. They need that sense of having a team and camaraderie and even more accountability. So obviously we know the laundry list of amazing things coaching has done for us. Why would we take that opportunity away from someone else by not asking them? It's kind of selfish to just hold it into ourselves, right? So we have to spread the love. So don't think of it as I'm being salesy or icky or recruiting. Like you're helping other people by bringing them on board with this amazing experience. All right, so how do you invite to the opportunity? So I did kind of allude to it a little bit when I was talking about how to reach out to them. Simply ask a question. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to write a book of an invite. It literally, you just say why you're attracted to them as a potential client for a coach, and ask them, have you ever considered doing what I do? That's it, plain and simple. And you develop a conversation that way. If it's someone that you don't know that well, maybe they aren't a challenger in your group already, start even simpler. Back it up. Build a relationship. So that's somebody that maybe you're just saying, hey, I'm really motivated by your social media. Where do you get your content? Or something like that. Like you don't even have to talk about coaching. And then over several days, there's several, back and forth conversations, you're asking more and more about them, getting down to dig deep and get down to their why and start finding out about things that you can help insert the coaching opportunity into their life. Does that make sense? All right, awesome. So in that conversation, you'll likely be answering objections. And I have a video that I've done for a lot of our coach sneak peeks. I don't know if you've seen it before. If you've done our live coach sneak peek, you probably have. But I will post it in our One Team, One Dream thread, so you guys have that as something that you can answer objections to, just common kind of like FAQs about the business or things they might be resistant on. So I will post that for you. I'm not going to take separate time from you guys tonight to go over that. But, certainly you're going to have to answer objections. But again, as long as you're armed with those answers, it doesn't seem as scary. So have that video in your back pocket, or make your own video. Definitely you can recreate it or have those, have that on a list when you're talking to them. And really the main question in their mind, even though they have all these objections, I think one of the main things they're probably thinking is they want to know, can I be successful in this too? So that's kind of where both your social media and your coach sneak peeks are going to come into play. So they want to know, can I be successful too? So I think you have to really celebrate all of the small victories, because everybody's looking at, like the top 10 coaches or elite coaches or people who've been doing it a long time, and they can get really intimidated by some of the successes they've had. When they see these coaches talking about, oh, they bought their dream house, their dream car through coaching, like that almost doesn't seem real, right? For somebody who's just starting out, doesn't know anything about Beachbody, that is super intimidating. So start small. Talk about how you were able to, pay off, maybe it was just the utility bill for the month, or you were able to buy diapers for, your kid, or something really small, and make sure you're talking about it very often on your social media. So your social media should be a constant coach sneak peek. And I think that's where coaches, myself included, go wrong. And that's why they're not able to recruit as well as they should be. And I'll delve into social media a lot more, but definitely start with the small victories. Talk about your before, not just your before picture, but the big picture of where you were and where you are now, and talk about those road bumps in between. Talk about the journey. Just share everything, share it often. Those are going to be the most relatable things. And everybody's story is unique. So what's unique about you that makes you love coaching? The accountability, the freedom. Did it change your circumstances? Did it change where you are? Are you thankful, grateful about different opportunities? So be sharing all of those things and relate it back to coaching in your social media. Because again, no one's going to know that you're a coach who can mentor other coaches if you don't talk about it. So I think where we get caught up is that we're all really good about talking about health. And we're great about talking about fitness, and we're great about even talking about shakes and nutrition, posting pictures about that, and even delving deeper and maybe talking a little bit about personal development or motivation. We're really good at that stuff. We're even good at getting customers. We're good at getting challengers. But where we fall short is sharing about what coaching has done to us and why. Again, it goes back to, what do you have to lose? And don't hold this opportunity just to yourself, because it can open doors for so many people. Share your why, and again, relate it back to coaching. I think that's going to be something that's really important. Sam did a great exercise with us in the past few weeks about sharing your story authentically and really digging deep as to how this has completely changed your life, and not just in a superficial way, but if you really knew me type of way, and really dig deep. So how often should you share about the coaching opportunity? I mean, top coaches will tell you every single day. I think if you're a new coach, starting with at least once a week. And you don't have to be an emerald. You don't have to be a diamond. You don't have to be a 5-star diamond elite. You don't have to be a 2,000 diamond elite. What I'm saying is you just have to share what it's doing for you. And that's how you're going to start recruiting people who are going to meet you where you're at. So just again, starting with those small victories. All right, so let's see what else. So using your social media again as a storefront. So we've talked about this a little bit, but if you were to audit your social media, and I really encourage you to get a success partner or ask your coach to very honestly look back at your posts for the last month or so and audit your social media. And are they able to tell, number one, that you're a coach? So are you posting about the nutrition, the fitness? And not just that, like it has to go beyond posting pretty selfies and pictures of your dinner, but are you repeatedly sharing on social media that you have something that can be a solution and can help people? Or are you just posting up pictures because you're supposed to post 3 to 5 times a day? So make sure that you're actually telling people what you do, and that when you open that page that they know you're a coach. So what does your cover photo look like? Does that say you're a coach? Does it say in the descriptors that you are a coach and that you have things that can offer to help people? And then looking at your timeline or on your Instagram feed that you have these eye-catching type of photos that are telling people what you do as a coach. So that's the first step, is really getting in sync with that social media and being consistent with it, showing up every day. And then the second component is going to be not only do people know that you're a coach and can help them get results as far as health and fitness, but you're a coach that can help coach them to be a coach and do what you do and help them get results in their life and in their finances and beyond, and be a part of a community, because I think people really crave that. And if you talk about it more, you're going to find out that you're going to be connecting with people a lot more. So that's where Coach Sneak Peek comes into. So I think really on the work starts on the front end of personal messages, private messaging, talking to people, just talking endlessly about it, and using your social media as your storefront. That's where the main, I would say, like 80% of your work has to be. And then your Coach Sneak Peek, you can do this a number of ways. Our team has had a lot of success with doing it as a one-day event, or actually a 1-hour event. And it's actually like very systematic. It goes through everything and people can rewatch it. And it's kind of nice because it doesn't take days when we're already in trainings and we're running our challenge groups and we're running free groups. It's like, okay, one less group. So it's nice. But you can certainly do a 3 to 5 day sneak peek. You could do a week sneak peek. You could actually just do a business opportunity call as well, where you do a Zoom call with potential clients. But this has been something that's been very successful for us. So make sure you're using it, because we'll constantly run these Coach Sneak Peeks once a month, pretty much like consistently every month. It's usually like the 3rd or 4th week we'll do the event. And if you're, consistently doing that work on the back end, like I talked about, you have already been private messaging people about it. You've been talking about it on your social media. Then you already have your list that you can invite. You don't have to be scrambling the night before or the day of thinking like, oh my gosh, we have to do another Coach Sneak Peek. Who am I going to invite? You already have been talking to them. So that's such an easy way to follow up with those people and say, hey, I know I've mentioned it before, but we're actually going to run this event, and I think that you would get a lot of info out of it. What do you think about me adding you or inviting you to the event? Here's the link. And you send them the direct link to the event, and then they'll get the notifications once they say, yes, I'm going, or I'm interested. They'll get the notifications then from that event. So then you follow up with them after the event, and you pretty much seal the deal after that. If you've done all of the work up front, then all they have to do is watch that 1-hour event. They get all the information that they need. And sometimes the thing that solidifies the deal is, okay, they've been hearing it from you until you're blue in the face and you're like, God, what else can I say to get you to sign up? And then they see all these other women. Well, we don't really have any men right now, but then, they see all these other people on the Coach Sneak Peek who are also having success, both big and small. And they see that you're real people. And maybe even if they weren't completely relating to you, maybe they relate to, oh, Amanda's a working mom and she can do it. And, they just have an opportunity to see other people and their successes. So it gives you that advantage to say, look at all these people, look at our team. Like, they get to see the culture of our team. So that's why Coach Sneak Peek is important. And I would say, like, definitely have to do it every single month, because private messaging and your social media, sometimes that's enough to sign up a coach, but that really seals the deal when they can see everybody else, and they can watch those like heartfelt videos about people talking about their why, and showing like the fun we have at Summit, and some of the trips and stuff like that. Like, I think that really captures it in that event. And so that's a perfect way for you as a new coach, or if you have new coaches, to get them into that Coach Sneak Peek, and they can invite, so that even if they haven't, I've never been on a Success Club trip. I'm going next week. But if you've never been to Summit, if you've never been on a trip, if you have never even been to Super Saturday, like, that's still an opportunity for you to invite to this. And it takes the pressure off you a little bit, that you don't have to be like this, like, coach who's been in the business for 10 years and knows everything. Like, you have these other resources where your coach or your co-coaches can help answer questions in the Coach Sneak Peek. So it's honestly, like, I think we're not utilizing it enough, and it's a really great way to seal the deal. So we went over private messaging, we went over using our social media more often, posting, and then our Coach Sneak Peek as either an event or group. So that's really all that I have. I'll open the floor to any questions that you guys have, but I am going to challenge you with one task before you guys go. I want you to do a coach opportunity post tonight, so you still have time. And just talk about something that coaching has done for you, and ask the question openly, is this something that you would like to join my journey? So that's my challenge for you. You can do it tonight or tomorrow, and tag your coach in it maybe in the comments at the bottom of your post. That would be a great way for us to see that. And also in your post, always add a call to action. Going live is a great way to talk about your why and other things about the coaching opportunity. Make sure you tag your spouse, so you're getting more eyes on it. You can, if you do have a like page or multiple Instagram accounts, make sure you're putting it in all different facets, so it's just another way to get eyes on it. And those are kind of like the little last tidbits I have, but I will open it to any questions. I'm actually going to stop the recording now, and then I'll just open the floor if you guys want to talk about anything. But thank you guys for having me, and we'll see you later.